A few minutes ago, the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation officially announced that Russian troops had completely liberated two strategically important settlements in a special military operation zone. In particular, we are talking about such settlements as Vishnyovoy, in the Kharkiv region, and Krutoy Yar, in the Pokrovsk direction of the front. According to officials of the Russian military department, the settlement of Vishnyovoy was liberated by fighters of the group of troops under the designation Zapad. At the same time, it is worth noting that earlier, this settlement was not mentioned by war correspondents and military experts. The liberation of the village of Vishnyovoy by Russian troops marked the formation of a new ledge in the Kharkiv direction of the front. The fact is that now, Russian troops received the opportunity to attack the city of Kupyansk not only from the north and east, but also from the southeast. As for the village of Krutoy Yar, in the Pokrovsk direction of the front, it is worth noting that this settlement was liberated by soldiers of the group of troops under the designation center. At the same time, it is important to know that the first reports of the liberation of this village appeared at the end of August this year. Most likely, Russian troops managed to push back the Ukrainian army units to a considerable distance from Krutoy Yar, and therefore the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation decided to officially announce the liberation of this settlement. Meanwhile, terrible news for the Ukrainian General Staff and the Kiev authorities continues to arrive from the Vuhledar direction of the front. So, on October 1, 2024, at 8 a.m. Moscow time, war correspondents began to report that in the central and even western part of Vuhledar, Kamchatka Marines began to raise Russian flags and victory banners. Later, at 2 p.m. Moscow time, Russian and Ukrainian war correspondents reported that the strategically important city of Vuhledar had come under the full control of the Russian army. Even though the Ukrainian General Staff still continues to remain silent about the situation in Vuhledar, Ukrainian independent military experts and journalists recognized the loss of this city by the armed forces of Ukraine. According to them, the Ukrainian army garrison was completely defeated in Vuhledar. It is reported that the surviving Ukrainian soldiers are still hiding in urban areas and trying to escape from the city under the cover of night. However, many fail to do this. According to the most conservative estimates, in 5 days of fighting, the Ukrainian army lost more than 1,000 soldiers in Vuhledar. It is reported that the elite units of the 58th and 72nd Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine were almost completely destroyed in this city. By the way, even though the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation has not yet officially announced the liberation of Vuhledar, many Western and Russian telegram channels have already painted this city a red color on their maps, which indicates that this settlement has come under the full control of the Russian army. My friends, if you think that this is the end of the bad news for the Kiev regime, then you are deeply mistaken. The fact is that on October 1, 2024, the Russian Defense Ministry also officially announced the liberation of the strategically important settlement of Nelipovka, in Toretsk direction of the front. And judging by what is happening in Kiev right now, this news really shocked the Ukrainian nationalists. The fact is that many Ukrainian pro-government bloggers and so-called experts began to openly lie, convincing the Ukrainian citizens that the settlement of Nelipovka is allegedly still under the control of the Ukrainian army. The most interesting thing is that these Ukrainian nationalists continue to blatantly lie even though many pro-Ukrainian Western think tanks have also recognized the loss of Nelipovka by the Ukrainian army. Against this backdrop, it is worth noting that, unlike Ukrainian nationalists, many Ukrainian telegram channels continue to tell the truth. So, at the end of September, these Ukrainian telegram channels also recognized the loss of Nelipovka by the Ukrainian army, and that the offensive units of the Russian armed forces were rapidly advancing in Toretsk itself. Moreover, a well-known Ukrainian nationalist, politician, and former head of the racist organization Patriot of Ukraine, Andrei Beletsky, also decided not to hide the truth. In particular, this Ukrainian nationalist, in an interview with journalists, bluntly stated that Toretsk would soon repeat the fate of Vuhledar. At the same time, he admitted that many Ukrainian and Western experts were mistaken in their forecasts, arguing that the Ukrainian army would be able to keep Toretsk under control for quite a long time. According to him, the transition of Toretsk under the control of Russian troops may occur in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, on the night of October 1st, the Russian armed forces launched another bomb and rocket attack on military facilities in Ukraine. This time, military facilities in the Kharkiv, Nikolayev, Kirovograd, Sumy, Cherkasy, and Kherson regions were subjected to bomb and rocket attacks. So, in the Kharkiv region, near the city of Kupyansk, Russian-guided aerial bombs of the Fab family hit the territory of an abandoned factory. As it turned out, a group of foreign mercenaries from France, Canada, and Poland were hiding there. According to preliminary data, about 40 foreign mercenaries were killed as a result of this attack. In Nikolayev, Cherkasy, and Kirovograd regions, Russian ballistic missiles hit and destroyed several military trains that were transporting valuable military cargo and fuel for the Ukrainian army. In the Sumy region, near the border with the Russian Federation, Russian kamikaze drones and aerial bombs destroyed the reserves of the Ukrainian army, which the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Ukraine was preparing to send to the Kursk region. And finally, in the Kherson region, in the northwestern part of the settlement of Velikaya Alexandrovka, a Russian Iskander-M ballistic missile struck and destroyed a local school building, where Ukrainian and NATO officers gathered for a meeting. The footage clearly shows how a Russian reconnaissance drone recorded the arrival of several dozen cars and minibuses in the settlement of Velikaya Alexandrovka. It is reported that about 70 NATO and Ukrainian officers gathered in the building of the local school to hold a meeting. However, in less than 5 minutes, an Iskander-M ballistic missile struck this building, destroying 50 NATO and Ukrainian officers, 30 Ukrainian soldiers, 15 cars, and 5 minibuses.